Jason. We're way overdue for some stuff doing. So we're doing some stuff on the Duster. Actually, we're doing stuff on a bunch of stuff, but we're starting with this stuff. So let's dig in. This thing has been running, but running pretty poorly. You can see that little bit of stumble. It had no power last time we took it out on that test run. So off camera, I went ahead and yanked all the vacuum lines that ran over here. The choke wiring, all that's just laying off to the side here. Pulled the PCV off, but I forgot I gotta warm it up, because if you haven't guessed by now, we're yanking the valve cover. We're finally checking those valves. We're gonna do that, and if there's time, compression test today. But only got about 2 hours to work on this thing, so that may or may not happen. But we're definitely gonna get into these valves and see what's going on. So to properly check your valve lash, which I'm sure is way out, I can hear the thing clattering. We need to warm it up. So I've had it running for a few minutes now. Starting to get the temperature. You can see the blow by, which means it's getting warm. I think it's a tired old motor. But we're about warmed up. We're going to shut it down so it'll be a lot quieter in here. And then yank these bolts off, pull the valve cover, and check our valve lash. I've got a set of very cheapo feeler gauges. We're going to give it a run. Alright, she's warmed up to temp. Now you can hear me, which is maybe better, you decide. And we're going to start dialing these valves in. So to get to them, we got to pull the valve covers. While we're doing that, run these over and charge this battery up, because of course it was dead when I went to start it a minute ago. Had to jump it off another battery with a charger on it. I haven't touched this thing since the last video we did, and that was probably a few weeks before I even posted it, which means this thing really has not been started or even attempted to start in, I think I've touched this one for probably a month or two. It's probably some small draw on the electrical system, and that battery was toast. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start zipping these guys off. Warm under here now that it's been running for a while. Woo! Bam, 8 bolts, 4 top, 4 bottom, nice and easy. Remove. It should be loose, give it kind of a little pop, unseat it. And we'll try and fish it out of here without causing too much commotion, without getting any junk down in it, hopefully. I have to give her a little coax. Go with the rubber, use a little gentle persuasion. Might be good. Maybe these valves are way off, and that's most of our problem. I'm going to try very gently, pry up on a corner. Starting to go. Boom. Yahtzee. These AC lines are really coming up the works. There we go. Oh my. So much for not making a mess. There's baked, dried, crusty oil all over that thing. The gasket is rock solid and all over the place. Oh my. It doesn't look like this thing's maybe ever been off. All of these seem to be relatively screwed in the same amount, which means it probably hadn't been adjusted before. Some of these have what I would call excessive slop. Ah! Boom! That would explain why we are running the way we are. Let me get you in here. Alright, so if you look, this rocker arm, there's the valve, or the, not the valve, but the push rod. It's kicked off to the side and visibly, severely bent. I could probably pull this out even. So, dang it. Which means we were definitely down a cylinder. That's why it was sounding so god-awful. Most of these other ones seem okay, actually, so probably just down one cylinder. Rocker arm has a little bit of damage on it. Have to take it completely apart to really see. It's been hitting on the side of the rocker arm for a while. It's blowing the side out. Hey, but this is good news, actually, because this means it's not just a super slow, tired motor. Just the valve lash got so far off, it slipped, it bent this push rod, and that's where all of our power's going. So fixing this may actually give me enough power that this thing's worthwhile to hang on to, because this one was about to go up on Marketplace after this lash was adjusted, when I assumed that nothing would be changing. But now we got another situation. Hopefully we didn't do any damage to the lifter, but it's possible. Ooh. We're gonna have to order some parts up, though. Obviously, we got to get another push rod, maybe another lifter. Haven't decided there. I got to figure out how to clean this. I mean, everything is caked in a crusted, thick layer of like chunky, gritty mess. This thing can't be oiling properly up here like this. Well, it's clearly not, because I got it all the way up to temp, cracked it open, and no oil spilled out. There's no oil up here. There's a lid, it's damp, but there's no oil up here. So that's a problem. Oh my. All right, so quick recap. Got the valve cover off. Found what, honestly, I was kind of hoping to find, but didn't expect to find, which was actual physical damage. Found one of the push rods bent, not even touching the ball on the end of the rocker arm anymore. So we were down one cylinder. The other ones, you can tell every single valve needs to be adjusted, but the other ones were at least all in place, so we were getting at least, you know, most of the efficiency out of the other cylinders. But cylinder 2 was down, was dead. So I'm going to bring you in, take a look, but it looks to me like it's the intake valve that bent the push rod. To me, that's a good thing, I think. That means that with that valve shut, we weren't getting fuel put into that cylinder when it was calling for it, but we were still getting the exhaust stroke. So it wasn't just dumping fuel, and causing issues with like ring wash, anything like that. It wasn't building, you know, unnecessary compression and not being able to get out of the exhaust. It's hard to see, but it looks like a flute. There you go. Yeah, real bent, but look at just all the crud that is in here, caked and baked onto everything. I mean, no part of this is clean in any way, and I don't think it was getting oiled properly either. So what I'm not sure about is the sequence for removing the bolts on the rocker arm assembly. Beep. There's quite a bit of them. We got 6. That's weird. There's an uneven number. There's 7 of them. What I'm thinking is, I don't know. I'm thinking start in the middle, work my way out. But I think I'm just going to crack them all loose from the middle out, then remove them. I just don't want to put unnecessary tension in weird, different directions. You know, she's an old girl. She's got enough bent up stuff already. Lay these out in order somewhere. It may not really matter what order these are in particularly, but I like to try and put everything I possibly can in the same order it came out when it comes to drivetrain. Even the stuff that people say is not really important, it's been all in happy harmony, or in this case not so happy harmony, for a long time, and I don't want to upset the balance, you know. Now for the fun part. And it's out. So, here's the most bent culprit of them all. You can see where it was rubbing real bad right here. It's the only clean part on it. After it got bent, it got shoved up against the sidewall like this, so it rubbed a clean spot coming in and out of the bore right there. The tip on it looks okay, luckily. Compare it to the one beside it. Yeah, tip looks alright, which is good, which means probably, hopefully no damage to the lifter, but if we're lucky, new push rod will fix it. But if there's something going on in this head, I got news for you guys. I'm not interested. I'm not the Huckleberry for that. I just don't. I'm not digging the slant 6 enough to dig into the slant 6 enough. You know what I mean? Rocker arm assembly. Some of it was getting oiled because you could see it dripping down out of each rocker arm, which is good, but this thing is, oh, it's disgusting. I mean, it's just awful. But what we want is to flip it upside down like so, and we want to look at these contact surfaces. So I'm not feeling any damage on them. This is the one that was bent push rod. Honestly, except for right here where you can see the top of that push rod like tried to take a chunk out. The ball itself that is the plunger for the top of the push rod, I don't know what you call it. That surface is still smooth, feels about the same as all the other ones, but I think we'll be able to reuse the arm assembly here. All right, day 2. Got some parts, and we're gonna do some cleaning and hopefully start on reinstall today. So I got a I got a helper today who's going to help us dig in and clean this thing up. So plan is we're going to pull all the push rods out, label them so we know order that they go back in, and start cleaning the top of this head. So I have kind of a creative idea I thought of. We're going to give a try to help seal up, to clean this thing. I've got some of those squishy expandable earplugs. I got a bunch of them on sale at Tractor Supply. We're going to pull all the push rods. We're going to plug all the holes with the earplugs, so when we hose this thing down with 6 cans of brake and carb cleaner, we don't have all that crap go right into the engine. Get it all hopefully to pull into the bottom in the well where the push rods sit, and then sop it up with some rags and hit it with the shop vac and try and wipe and clean everything out. That'll keep most of the gunk from getting down in there. Won't get all of it, but that's okay. Just want to get this thing clean. That's the priority. And then once we get the new push rods back in and we get everything put back together on the top, we're going to go ahead and drain the oil and change the oil on it. I'm actually going to just kind of drip and put some oil on the push rods, on the valve springs, on everything up top, kind of pre-lube it. And then we'll put the new valve cover gasket and valve cover back on top. So we're going to go ahead and get cracking on relabeling and taking apart. All right, so we've got our handy dandy piece of cardboard. Bam! We'll label, and we're just going to pop the push rods into this so we can keep track of them. That'll help us make heads or tails. So we'll set that right here. Ellie, I want you to go ahead and start pulling them out. We're going to start with the front, so you might need to hop up on your stool. You can use the rag if you need, but it's okay if your hands get dirty. And you're going to pull these out. See these right here? Mm-hmm. They just pull straight out. And pull them all out one at a time and hand them to me slow, one at a time, and I'll pop them in here.
They're so long. I thought they'd be like short nails.
Hold on, hold that. We're going to have to pre-pop our holes in the cardboard because they're not sharp enough to poke through.
Hopefully we have a drill.
Use a screwdriver.
Okay.
Make it easier.
I'm gonna try to not get one hand dirty, so that way if you get juice on my face. Right there we go.
All right. Next one.
It kind of looks like a toddler.
Okay.
What put dirt on their fingers, then went to the sink to add tiny dots of water on it. Making their fingers can look like.
Take this charger off. Keeps getting out of the way. Okay. That was our bent one. You see how super bent that one is? It's crazy bent.
Just fell in. Whoop.
Pull. There you go.
That one's hard. Gotta even my
All the
back up.
push rods out and now in order, so we don't have to worry about getting them mismatched, because we do want to keep them in the same spots they were in before. They're all kind of tied to their spot on the rocker arms. Now we need to seal those holes so we can spray and clean this thing down without getting too much mess inside the engine. So see that drawer over there? See where the oil filter is and the oil? Open that drawer underneath it and there should be a bag of earplugs.
This one?
Yep.
In total there are, I think 33 or 50.
50 pairs.
That's
we
a
need
lot.
we need to take 6 pairs to do this because there's 6 cylinders. Each cylinder has 2 push rods, and each hole needs to be filled with one of these. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this and just stick it just like that. Don't push it hard because you don't want to push it into that hole. Okay? You want to just kind of set them in there. They just kind of fall in. Yep, that's all. And just drop them in place.
All of them?
You do that. I got to get the keys and get all the cleaner and new push rods out of the truck.
This step may take a while, but it is a little funner than some of the other stuff we'll probably have to do later. And that does count as taking apart the car, which might be a little harder than putting earbuds in holes. It's hard to stretch. 2 more. There has to be at least 12 or 13 of these. Can't. Good. Got it. Whew. Got him.
Got them all in there?
Yep.
All right. We want to try and protect on the paint just in case this stuff spreads. So we'll take our rags here. I always save old clothes.
Dad, this was in my closet like yesterday.
These have been in this bag for probably a month, baby.
Oh.
And
Oh, now I know why, because I didn't like
what's
it.
your JoJo jacket?
Yeah, I don't like
Remember
it.
that, Joe.
Dad, I'm not a baby.
Well, you don't have to be a baby. You like what you like, that's all right. Oh, there you go, sad unicorn. Now,
And it's got blue to represent the grass.
we should be able to keep most of the paint from getting any of this brake cleaner and stuff on it that could eat into it. And we're just gonna go nuts and spray this thing down, starting at the top and working our way down. So here, I'll show you, and then I'll let you do it some.
It kind of smells like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride a little. It smells kind of like the ocean a little, kind of like water. It smells like Pirates
I
of
don't
the
think the
Caribbean.
real ocean smells quite like this. That would be,
Well, not the
that would be
ocean,
weird.
but the Pirates of the Caribbean thing ride. It's like Disney. It definitely smells like that.
One can down. Before we spray that second can, here, hold on, watch out. We're gonna scrub and try and break all that stuff loose. So we'll use some brass brushes for that. And we just wanna try and break all this grime and junk and crud loose. Let's give this one a little velocity with a straw here. You want to help more?
Yeah,
I got a great idea for helping. So you can take this shirt and a can of our cleaner. You can clean these. You know, the easiest way to clean them though is going to be to take them out of here
and then rub them one
and
by
then put
one.
them back in. So pull them out and then do like this. And then take the shirt like a rag.
Just wipe it straight
Wipe
down.
them down. They're going to be hard to clean a little bit. So you're going to have to kind of probably spray them a couple
That
times. and
shirt
scrub
got
them.
black easily.
But do like this. And then wipe them. And they don't have to be perfectly clean.
Because they're really old.
Yeah, they are really. We just want them as clean as we can get them, especially in the tips here. You know, clean
So
that guy.
shiny.
That's because because that's the part that gets the most rubbing on it.
Dad, I feel like no one would agree with me, but I kind of like the smell of oil a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's weird, but I do.
Can you do that for me though and clean each one? So the first one's clean. You gotta clean the second one now. And there's your can. There's your rag.
Okay. Yep. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
I stole your rag. There's your rag.
Oh. Thank you. Put it right here. I just got this. Need to get some stretch.
So we got the head pretty well clean, about as clean as it's gonna get, and honestly a million times better than it was, and good enough for what we're going after. You can already see immediately after having cleaned it that it's starting to, in spots it looks like flash rust, which is wild. So we're gonna go ahead and spritz her down with a little bit of lubricant.
I thought this would be annoying at first, but it's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, working on cars is fun.
Well, the point that you have to get a shower.
Oh yeah, we'll want to clean up after. Yeah, but you get a shower at the end of the day every day anyway,
the
right?
The point of the shower, I don't get it. Whenever I get in the shower, I never want to get in the shower. But then once I'm in the shower, I never want to get out.
Words of wisdom. See if this works. Got ourselves a spray bottle.
Is that the bleach
There's
one?
some oil in it.
It says bleach on it.
Yeah, it used to be bleach, now it's oil.
Dad, you see us on the bleach?
Nope, not anymore. That worked better than I thought, actually.
They'll go mad at you.
No.
Wait, I just remembered we put that.
Just to give all these springs and stuff oil at first start up. They are dry
It
right
looks
now.
like poop on my hands. It's so weird.
Now we need to clean this rocker arm assembly. We'll do that outside. All right.
Ready to start?
Yep.
Wait,
Good to
I'm not
start.
ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Cool thing is, you can just take all that out and edit it.
Okay. Let's put this maybe a little side.
Don't drag. Try not to drag them, baby.
Okay.
They can't get scratched.
All right. Okay.
Just gonna take it to the machine shop and make sure they deburr it right. Just like that. Just don't want that little piece coming loose in the engine.
That won't be good. Then our screen would never be able to work again. Unless you spend $1.
Ought to be good just like that. Alright, let's start plopping these push rods back in. Starting with the one that's closest to the front. Pull it all the way out. There you go. What we're going to do is
Bleach them?
rag here.
We're going to bleach them all?
Well, it's oil in there.
Oh, I keep forgetting. You
Oil
need
on
to
as we drop them
relabel it.
in.
Label. You need to relabel it.
Okay, next.
Very last one. I kind of want to smack myself with this cardboard. Told you the last one that I was
Last one.
Beep boop.
Alright, and that one is... Alright, so now they're all in. I don't know if they're all in exactly the right place and seated good, but
Let's hope
we
that.
won't know for sure
Ever. But
until
let's just hope.
we start setting the rocker arm into place.
Let's just hope for that.
We'll make sure once we start bolting down. Alright, it is time. Rocker arm reassembly. Whew, brake cleaner stings all them little cuts you get picked up along the way. Good. All right. All right. So, next step in our process is to set our lash. And I did some research because I don't have a little, fancy clicker, hit the ignition from the outside button. But what I do have is an assistant. So I'm going to throw her in the car, get her to just turn the key and bump it for me. And that way I can get these valves set up where they need to be. I disconnected the wire off the coil, so we shouldn't have any fire. So no matter how long you crank it for, it won't start. And this will allow me to adjust them. I don't want to wait and adjust them hot. Since I took everything apart and I changed one push rod, I'm a little concerned if I try to warm this thing up, I don't want to bend another push rod. So I am going to do the adjustment cold. I did some research and I found the best way to do that is to just add 2 to 3 thousandths to each setting. So instead of 10 hundredths, we're going to be at what was it, 12 thousandths, I guess. And then instead of 20, we're going to be at 22 thousandths. So that's the the plan of attack here. So we're going to go ahead and get her situated in the car. I'm going to grab the feeler gauges and we'll start making some little tweaks and adjustments here.
Yay!
All right, Goofball, go get in your spot. All right, so we're in position. Got the 012 and the 022. Just cheapest feeler gauges Amazon had. But I got a whole set of the angly ones and the straight ones for like 10 bucks. Totally worth it. We're in position. I think we're ready to set our adjustments. Wait. So we want 1, 2, 3. We want these and these are the ones we're going to adjust right now. So go ahead and just give it a bump. Go ahead. A little more.
Kind of sounds like a huge fart.
It's not going to work. We're going to have to just fire the thing up and run it because I can't get it to bump slow enough, and I don't feel like putting a crank down, wrench on that crank to turn it. Nothing's bending, nothing's binding. It seems like even the push rod we replaced seems all right. We're going to roll the dice. We're just going to fire this bad boy up. Let me hook the coil back up. We're going to crank it. We're going to run it. I'm going to adjust them as fast as I can before it gets hot with the 12 and the 22. Maybe if we're not making too much of a mess, we'll go ahead and fire it up after that and let it warm up the rest of the way. And get our hot settings also. So let me disconnect our fancy coil cover. Try and catch the oil that's inevitably going to be running down out of the side of these valves. All right, try and start it.
All the way?
All the way. Shut it down. All right, start it back up.
Survive. I don't understand how we survive.
We did awesome.
I know. So I'm saying, how did we survive all that? It's so good.
Will you hand me the spray bottle over there, please?
Can I spray it?
Yeah, we got them. You want to spray some?
Yeah.
I just want you to do just like this. Just kind of spray the top, but you got to hold the bottle from it. It's almost empty. You can spray the rest. You got to hold it down here because you have to hold it flat. Squirt. Squirt,
Like this.
squirt, 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 squirt. That should be good.
Oh, it's smoking.
Yeah, that's because we're getting oil everywhere, but that's all right. We wanted oil everywhere. Perfect.
Smells like peas.
Peas? You're eating the wrong pea, sweetheart. All right. Well,
But I don't eat
valves adjusted. Now we need a
We're
valve cover
done.
gasket that we have to order and get in here.
Let's go to O'Reilly's.
That's right, my girl. And then we can reassemble. So, what do you think? That wasn't so bad, huh? High five? Dirty five? Yeah.
Wait, one more.
That was a good one. All right. Well, we did it. It looks good. Everything worked. Valve cover gasket, and then hook up all those vacuum lines we took off, and then we have to change the oil. And then, guess what?
All right.
Test drive.
You just farted.
Then test drive.
I don't want it to test drive.
Well, if we can't find a valve cover gasket, we might not be test driving today anyway. I
Yay!
should have ordered it yesterday, but I didn't. So,
Yay!
all right, let's shut her down.
Y'all help me!
So, some things I learned today. Adjusting the valves while it's running a little bit trickier than they make it out to be. It wasn't bad, it's just hard to get a socket or a wrench on those nuts when that thing's bouncing around. And it took me a little bit to actually kind of like get a feel for how tight they should be. So one tip I would give you all is what I did. I started 2/1000ths bigger than it was supposed to be, so I wouldn't overdo it, cause damage, or get too far off. So I started cold, set them all at 12/1000ths to 22/1000ths. As it warmed up, I switched to the proper 10 and 20s. By then, I kind of had a feel for how tight they should be, snugged them all up. You could tell the clatter actually went down as I started tightening them. I don't know if that'll show in the video, but you could definitely hear the difference between the properly adjusted and the non-adjusted valves. All of them were too loose, every single one. There wasn't a single one that was either good or too tight. They were all too loose, which hopefully is going to attribute to some of that power loss. Obviously, that bent push rod and being down a cylinder certainly will. Gonna get that valve cover gasket, get everything reassembled, and then I think next stop on this video train is going to be test drive, reassembly and test drive. All right, well, here it is the next day again. I had to recruit some more help, so we got Alonzo over here.
Hello, hello.
What I said was going to be a nice quick thing of just throwing the valve cover on and changing the oil real quick turned into, all total, probably about 2 hours of wrenching and struggling.
And
Oh yeah, my fancy push rod.
something that's out of formation. Did you already show this?
I showed him the push rod,
Cool.
but not only did that get a little deformed, but check that bad boy out. I've never in my life worked so hard to take an oil filter out. I used every tool you could think of, and some that really shouldn't have,
Yeah.
to try and get this out. Nothing was working.
Mhm.
We ended up finally getting it with one of those fancy claw tools. Use this guy on a 3/8 ratchet
Like
with
$15 at all or done?
Yep, and then we had to upsize it to a 1/2-inch breaker bar, and that wasn't enough. So we had to break out my my buddy that you've seen a couple times. You got my fancy pry bar. We had to break out the Louisville Slugger to give us a little more leverage on it. Finally, it cracked loose. So the worst oil filter ever is off. New one's in. Got oil in it. Got the valve cover back on. Off camera, I spared you that expense.
All the vacuum lines are back on.
Yep, everything's reconnected. Everything's hooked back up. So should be back to square one. We're going to give it a little inaugural start, see how it runs. We got to let it warm up a little bit, and then I got to retune the carb because even though we've tuned it in a previous video a while back, I tuned it for what was a basically 5-cylinder running engine. So now that it's working the way it should, everything's going to be out of whack. So my guess is probably going to be way too rich. So we're going to redial it in once we get it warmed up, hook the vacuum gauge to it, and then
tune the carburetor.
Yeah, and then hopefully
I imagine when you start the car, it's not going to be as good running as we're going to dial it to be, because you tuned it.
unless I'm real lucky.
Unless you're good.
So far, I have not been.
Some people have been pretty good. Let's see.
Sounds good. Is that all it was better? That's good. Got a little simple. It just started to do that. Okay, so maybe at high RPM. Give me the choke too. We gotta give it a few minutes to warm up and then we'll start out. Alright, so we video stopped recording for a minute, but we got our vac gauge on. You can see it's not doing that bouncing around anymore because we don't have a dead cylinder. So now we can dial this thing in, play around with that mixture. We want to lean it out as much as we can without getting lost. We're sitting right about 19. That's dropping it down, bring it back up. I think that's about all we're gonna get right there without getting too overly rich. Seems about right.
Alright, you guys. So I'm gonna finish out Jason's video. Basically, this thing is dialed and it's mint. Send it, bro.
That's all it's got.
That's okay. That's much better, bro. I mean, compared to how you were explaining to me last time.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, it couldn't get out of its own way.
That thing feels dialed. Did you slide around that other corner?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Let's go.
What are we doing?
Still won't do a burnout.
He's trying to do a burnout. It's not gonna happen.
It's driving good though.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. You got leaf springs in the back.
That was neutral, not drive. Yeah, it's definitely cruising much better. I feel like it still just doesn't have that gusto.
Well, you haven't taken it on like the highway either.
Right. I can't tell if it's too rich or too lean, but it's too something.
Slam it on the gas.
So here's from a stop. See, it like hesitates. We're gonna try.
We can always dial it back.
I'm gonna lean it out just a touch and let's see what it does.
Oh, I don't have the screwdriver.
You were in charge of the screwdriver.
I didn't know you wanted me to bring it.
I can do that one by hand. I just can't do the.
Oh yeah, the idle. Mint. I'd say it's pretty dialed. I mean, it felt like, was it shaking a lot?
Oh my gosh, I was
Previously?
shaking so much before.
Yeah, because if you guys were only driving on 5 cylinders, that's going to be a misfire that you can feel.
Yeah, well, to the point where like.
You don't want to drive it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
We took it to go get coffee one morning with Ellie, and
Yeah.
we were like, she's like, it's not gonna start.
Yeah, like it's pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it's just, it was when he would brake and then hit the accelerator sometimes, and he had a feeling it was
Yeah, bent push
missing
rod.
a cylinder.
Yeah.
But he would go to accelerate in the roundabout, and I was like, please go, please go. Like,
Please don't just stall out on me. So when you slam the
so
door,
this is already better to me.
this just fell off of your roof.
like
Yeah,
that.
see, that's worse. It feels like. Yeah, let's go the opposite. Let's make it rich.
Make it richer. No, I mean, where we had it was dialed. You just gotta dial it all the way out.
Do you know the number of times I've seen this view?
This view here.
Him with the hood up.
Oh yeah.
Side of the road.
Around the neighborhood. I used to make Dana.
Not even the
drive something.
neighborhood. Like when he was test driving, remember that the Jeep he had?
Max richness.
He
There
was test driving it and he wanted to make sure everything looked good under the hood, so we went to some rando parking lot.
Always, always.
Oh, Maybe.
Dude, that's mint, bro. That sounds like a healthy motor.
I mean, it sounds way better. Yeah.
Still not quite there, but it's definitely way, way better. I'll have to keep playing with the carb. So we're doing a little test ride. I got my trusty co-pilot, picked her up from school, and picked her up in the fun car. We got her cruising and idling just right. And then you can hear it, it's nice and smooth. And I think we got her all fixed up. What do you think? Pretty good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
I like it.
Yeah, I think so. We played around a little bit with the carb adjustments, a little bit with the idle. I think the timing is probably a little bit too far advanced because when you shut it off, it diesels just a little bit, and I think actually I'm a little too advanced even just for running around, so I'm gonna dial that back a little bit, and then she should be perfect. So we're gonna call it dialed as far as drivability for the motor. For all the parts that are on it as is now, it's done. At this point, all this car needs is a little bit more TLC with the cleaning up, the bodywork, the interior, which we'll work on here in another video. But at least for now, we got ourselves a good, you know, really daily drivable, running, cool old car. What you think?
Yeah, I like it.
All right, so I guess that'll wrap it up for this one, and we'll catch you next time when we do more stuff.